Welcome to the new video, Why Thinking Skill Matters. This video is very much important for students as well as teachers. Today I am covering 4 important topics in this video. Why thinking skill matters. Bloom's taxonomy of thinking and its application in education. Critical thinking and creative thinking. I hope you will love this video. Why thinking skill matters. Thinking skills are mental processes we use to do things like solve problems, make decisions, ask questions, construct plans, evaluate ideas, organize information, and create objects. Innovation is needed to solve the serious problems of health, global warming, economic crisis, and food and water shortages. In addition, rapid advances in technology make it crucial that we not only learn new skill sets, but that we also continually assess the results and impacts of our new habits. This ability to learn, practice, and analyze is at the heart of thinking skills. Brain power has replaced brawn, and strength in thinking has replaced strength in muscles. Most of the organization ensure people to use 5 to 10% of their abilities at work. Outside the work, same people engage the other 90 to 95%. To mobilize their thinking skills, highly successful companies such as Adobe, Amazon, Dell, Xerox, Google encourage people to work from home, think out of the box, and contribute their ideas to the organization. That's why thinking skills is very much important in our day-to-day activities. Now let us discuss about the Bloom's taxonomy of thinking. Bloom's taxonomy of thinking is based on 3 domains of thinking: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Cognitive domain. Bloom's taxonomy comprises 3 learning domains: the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor, and assigns to each of these domains a hierarchy that corresponds to different levels of learning. In this domain, in cognitive domain, learners are expected to progress linearly through the hierarchy, beginning at remember and ending at create. Another domain, affective domain. The affective domain focuses on the attitudes, values, interest, and appreciation of learners from memorizing till evaluation. The psychomotor domain encompasses the ability of learners to physically accomplish tasks and perform movements and skills. All practical skills students learn from basics to creation. Most of the practical courses we teach in universities and colleges that belongs to the psychomotor domain, wherein we used to learn from basics to the creation. Bloom's taxonomy of thinking is very much relevant in thinking skills. Benjamin Bloom, 1956, developed a classification of levels of intellectual behavior in learning. Within the cognitive domain, he identified 6 levels: knowledge, starting from bottom up, knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. These domains and levels are still useful today so as to develop the thinking skills of the students. Knowledge. Knowledge is the foundation for higher order thinking. Knowledge retention is most important in any learning activities. The next level is comprehension. Whatever the knowledge we used to acquire, we used to comprehend it by asking certain action verb questions that we will discuss in the next slide. Then the third level is application, using knowledge in the new situation. Most of the practical courses we used to teach in the universities and colleges, maybe in diploma or maybe in engineering, that comes under this domain application. The lab works comes under this. Analysis, breaking things down, or critical thinking. Then the fifth level is synthesis, putting things together, or creative thinking. And the final steps in learning hierarchy is evaluation or judgment. The first three levels, knowledge, comprehension, and applications, we call it as lower order thinking. Why we call it as lower order thinking, you will come to know in the next slide. Then the other three, analysis, synthesis, and evaluations, we call it as higher order thinking. Application of Bloom's taxonomy in education. In the left side, I have put this what you call the Bloom's taxonomy of thinking diagram. In the right side, you have the action verb. These action verb we are using in writing learning objectives of the lesson. Not only in writing learning objectives, but also to assess the students. Knowledge, it refers to memorizing facts and figures. It is more relevant in elementary and secondary educations. How we test the knowledge. Students are asked with action verb questions, recognize, recall, or repeat. So they memorize and the teacher will ask them to repeat what you have memorized. The next level, comprehension. In the comprehension, you can understand it very well. The action verbs we are using in the comprehensions are what questions? What is economics? What is physics? Simple questions. What is mathematics? What questions? Define questions. Arrange questions. List, listing, matching, labeling, outlining, and keeping the things in order. That comes under the comprehension, the action verbs, we use it. In the third level, application, how we check the knowledge that they have gained in the first level and the comprehension, we used to check in the third level applications by asking some specific action verb questions such as practice exercise 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. Produce from the raw data something else. Rewrite, rewriting. You know, rewriting in English, it is a good exercise. Translate from one language to another language. Express, describe, give example, review. These are the more relevant learning objectives as well as assessment in diploma and engineering courses. The fourth level, analysis, here we use to check the student whether he has learned the higher level of learning, that is analysis, by asking questions, analyze, differentiate, subdivide, break down, explain with diagram, explain with flow chart, so on and so forth. The fifth level, synthesis, here the action verb we use asking the student or the trainee to design, develop, reconstruct, re-engineering. Synthesis, create, innovate. Writing synopsis and thesis comes under this learning hierarchy. The final and the more complex one, complex learning, is about evaluation. Here we will ask the student in the learning objectives as well as in the assessments, compare and contrast. Compare, contrast, assess, assessing, evaluate, explain, summarize, justify, conclude, give conclusion. So most of these action verb is referred to the judgment and evaluation. Let us discuss application of Bloom's taxonomy in language competencies by different certifying agencies. Here I have compared three different certifying agencies. The first one is Common European Framework of References for Language, that is CEFR. Number two, IELTS, English Language Testing System. This we are using in Jubilee Industrial College. And number third, TOEFL, Test of English as a Foreign Language. First, let us see in the beginning Bloom's taxonomy. It is having 6 different levels starting from bottom up: knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Then just focus on the last column, knowledge. This is analysis of the person
English
who is having how we learn level, basic
knowledge
level. He can interact in a simple way, introducing themselves. Sometimes we used to ask question, introduce yourself. So this is the very basic level of learning in English language. The next step, comprehension. He will get the ability of speaking and writing. He or she can communicate in simple and routine tasks. He can explain what he is doing today. He can talk about the weather. He can talk about the accident he met with today. So that comes under comprehension. Application, the person who has achieved level 3, he can understand the main points of clear standard. For example, there is a big paragraph. In the big paragraph, he can identify the main points. That is the application. We are talking about English language here. Analysis, he can produce clear, detailed text on a wide range of subjects. You can give him any topic, he can write a very good essay, maybe on technical things or maybe on non-technical things. He can produce clear, detailed text on a wide range of subjects. That is analysis. Synthesis, he or she can understand a wide range of demanding, I use the word demanding, longer clauses and recognize implicit meaning. Complex type of essays. Journalists need to have a very good synthesis. Journalists should be competitive enough. Professors, lecturers, teachers, they need to have synthesis. They need to understand a wide range of demanding, that is demanded by the time, longer clauses and recognize implicit meaning. The last one is evaluation. Can understand with ease virtually everything heard or read. Maybe you are listening CNN, you will understand everything. Maybe you are listening BBC in English, Al Jazeera TV channel in English. You can understand and easily and virtually hear and read everything. You have any complex book, very complex English, that is the evaluation stage. Now let us see how they have compared. Let me begin with what you call the Common European Framework or References for Language. Look here, it is opposite. Knowledge, it is A1. A1 is not the best in the European standard. All European countries such as Norway, Sweden, Finland, UK, France, Belgium, they follow and they have aligned their Common European Framework of References, in short CEFR, to Bloom's taxonomy. And the preliminary, what you call test, they refer it as A1. A1 means the least grade in CEFR, not the best grade. A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. See how beautifully they have aligned Bloom's taxonomy for grading system. C2 means the highest grade in English. Whereas IELTS, you know IELTS, most of us are using IELTS grading system. Knowledge 2 points, comprehension 3 points, application 3.5 to 5.5, 7 to 8, 8 to 9. IELTS English language testing system also aligned their courses to Bloom's taxonomy. The IELTS test is recognized by over 9,000 institutions worldwide. This includes about 2,000 universities in US and many universities in UK and Ireland, Canada, Australia, New Zealand and South Africa, as well as numerous professional organizations around the world. They are using IELTS. In JIC, Jubail Industrial College, our diploma students will achieve proficiency in English somewhere else between 5 to 6 and be a student from 6 to 7 if they continuously put their effort in listening, reading, writing and speaking. That is about IELTS. Look here, they have aligned to the Bloom's taxonomy. TOEFL tests of English as a foreign language. It is accepted by over 8,500 institutions across the globe, 130 countries, including UK, USA, and Australia, as well as world's top 100 universities. World's top 100 universities, they ask TOEFL. TOEFL is administered by US-based organization, the Education Testing Service, and so is conducted in American English. So they have also aligned. Look here, the first one they don't accept. That is why it is not given. The second one, comprehension, the score is between 17 to 27. Here they have to be expert in 2 skills, not 4 skills. Comprehension. Then application, the score will be around 42 to 71. Analysis, here they need to be more experts. The score will be around 72 to 94. Synthesis, 95 to 120. 120 is the maximum score TOEFL people used to get. Maximum score is 120, not 100, 120. If somebody is scoring between 95 to 120, it is what we call the highest grade in TOEFL. Critical thinking. Critical thinking is very much important at colleges and universities. It is thinking the other way. No one always acts purely, objectively or rationally. So acting rationally in a fair way is very much difficult for most of us. We connive for selfish interest. We gossip, boast, exaggerate and equivocate. It is only human. In the process of satisfying our ego, however, we can deny ourselves intellectual growth and opportunities. If you are not a critical thinker, not only if you are not a critical thinker, if somebody is critical about your work, you need to accept it. If you are not accepting the criticism of other people, you will never ever grow in thinking skills. You need to criticize the work of others. Not only that, you have to accept the criticism of the people who have more knowledge. We may not always want to apply critical thinking skills, but we should have those skills available to be employed when needed. If you are not a critical thinker, your growth in thinking skills will stop. If you want to be the best in thinking skills, you need to practice critical thinking. Critical thinking includes complex combination of skills such as rationality, self-awareness, honesty, open-mindedness, discipline, judgment. Let us see what are these things, why we need all these 6 areas of critical thinking. Rationality, it refers to reasons rather than emotions. We have to focus on reasons. We should not take any decisions based on our emotions. It is opposite of emotions. Fairness in the judgment. Okay. Rationality requires evidence. Ignore no known evidence and follow evidence where it leads. Wherever possible, we have to focus on evidence, facts and figures. We need to believe on facts and figures, not on emotions. That is the rationality. That is one of the requisite of critical thinker. Number two, self-awareness. What is this self-awareness? Self-awareness means weighing the influences of motives and bias. We should not be biased. Recognizing our own assumptions, prejudices, biases, or point of view. If a person is biased, he is not a critical thinker. Number three, honesty. Honesty refers to selfish motives to be avoided. We should not be selfish. If you are selfish, you are not honest. Simply, if you are selfish, you are not honest. You should have selflessness, looking from the other's point of view, thinking by wearing others' shoes. That is honesty. Another ingredients of what you call critical thinking, open-mindedness. Open-mindedness means evaluating all reasonable inferences. If you have many inferences, so you have to evaluate each and every inference, considering a variety of possible viewpoints and perspectives. That is about open-mindedness. Discipline. Critical thinker need to have discipline. We need to be precise, meticulous, comprehensive, and exhaustive. We need to resist manipulation and irrational appeals. Not only that, we need to avoid snap judgment. Critical thinker need to have good discipline. Finally, critical thinker need to have good judgment. Judgment refers to recognizing the relevance and the merit of alternative assumptions and perspectives, recognizing the extent and weighing the evidences. These are the components of a critical thinker. Quality of a critical thinker. What are the qualities of a critical thinker? Critical thinkers are by nature skeptical. They approach text with the same skepticism and suspicion as they approach spoken remarks. They will not believe anybody else. They don't believe on hearsay. Critical thinkers will not believe in hearsay. They don't believe if somebody is telling. This is a very good quality. Even the managers, they need to have to be a critical thinker. Critical thinkers are active, not passive. They are always active. They are sometimes hyperactive. They ask questions and analyze. They will not listen to you plainly. They will ask questions and analyze. They consciously apply tactics and strategies to uncover meaning and assure their understanding. Critical thinkers do not take an egoistic view of the world. They don't have ego. If a person is having ego, he is not a critical thinker. He should be rational. Opposite of egoistic is rational. He need to respect the opinion of others. If it is fair, they are open to new ideas and perspectives. They are willing to challenge their beliefs and investigate competing evidence. This is the quality of a critical thinker. At the same time, let us see what are the qualities of a non-critical thinker. Non-critical thinker, they see things in black and white as either or. rather than recognizing a variety of possible understanding. Look here, non-critical thinker. Sometimes some students they are asking teacher, give us true false questions. True false questions. You are not analyzing the questions while writing the answer. You are reading the psychology of the teacher. Oh, this teacher may give first true, second false, first true, second false, first true, second false. Sometimes you read the psychology of another teacher. Oh, this teacher, first two he gives true, another two false, another two. So you do not want to think. You want to write the answer by guessing. This is the quality of a non-critical thinker. They see things in black and white as either or rather than recognizing a variety of possible understanding. They see questions as yes or no with no subtleties. They fail to see linkage and complexities. They fail to recognize related elements. Non-critical thinkers take an egoistic view of the world. He is always prey to ego. Sometimes he used to have super ego. He is a non-critical thinker. They take their facts as the only relevant ones. They say, I am always right. If a person says, I am always right, he is not a critical thinker. They take their own perspective as the only sensible one. They say, might is right. I am always right. This is the quality of a non-critical thinker. They take their goal as the only valid one. Now let us go to the creative thinking. Creative thinking is very much important in educational field. This is the level 5 of Bloom's taxonomy. Level 5 comes under the creative thinking. Creative thinking skills use very different approaches to critical thinking skills. There is a big difference between critical and creative. They involve as much more relaxed, open, playful approach. This can require some risk taking. Creative thinking skills involves such approaches as looking for many possible answers rather than one. There is big difference between critical and creative thinkings. Creativity comes when you are having a relaxed mind. If you want to create something, you need to be highly relaxed. And not only that, you need to enjoy the work. There should be passion for the work. If a person is having passion for the work, he will be a creative thinker, looking for many possible answers rather than one, allowing you to make wild and crazy suggestions as well as those that seems sensible. Sometimes creativity, let me tell you some examples of creativity. Some of the scientists, they have created, okay, we can run the automobile with hydrogen. We can run the automobile. There is a substitute for what you call gasoline. Sometimes the government say, oh, this guy is crazy. But after 10 years or 15 years, the same idea will be adopted by someone else and it's clicking. They allow you to make wild and crazy suggestions. Sometimes their suggestions looks crazy, but sensible, having some valid reasons. Not judging ideas early in the process. Treat all ideas if they may contain the seeds of something potentially useful. They don't have snap judgment, allowing you to doodle, daydream, or play with a theory or suggestions. Creative thinking people, artists, they are creative. They used to daydream, they used to doodle, and they will come with their suggestion. Then they have certain creativity. Being aware that their approach necessarily involve making lots of suggestions that are unworkable and may sound silly. Sometimes the creativity looks to be silly, but it will work. They are making mistakes and learning from the mistakes. Creative people always do mistakes and learn from the mistakes. You know the story of Thomas Alva Edison. He made 1000 mistakes. Finally, he come up with the light bulb. They make mistakes and learn from the mistakes. This is the last and very interesting slide. How you can become a creative thinker. There are many techniques. You can use it and you can become a creative person. There is no limit to ways there are thinking creatively. Some techniques you can begin with. Brainstorm ideas on one topic onto a large piece of paper. Don't edit these, just write them down. This is the beginning of the creative thinking. Just jot down your ideas on a plain paper. Then you come across with some of the creativity. For example, when you want to write some of the essays, how you do it? Sit in a very silent place, go on scribbling something on a piece of paper. You get some creativity. Allowing yourself to play with an idea whilst you go for a walk. When you created your idea, just play with your idea. Maybe you are walking, maybe you are sleeping. These creative people, they never sleep. They play with their idea while walking also. They are in a different world. Believe me, creative people will be in a totally different world. When they jot down their idea on a piece of paper, they play with that idea even when sleeping also, when going to the walk. Sometimes when they are talking to someone else, their mind is in a different world. Draw or paint a theory on the paper. Ask the same questions at least 20 times and give a different answer each time. They have many alternatives. They have so many alternatives. Creative people, they go with many alternatives. Then only the creativity comes. Combine some of the features of two different objects or ideas to see if you can create several more. Combine two programs and create one more program. Combine two different items and create one. Combining so many things, this is also what you call the way of creating things. Change your routine, do things a different way, walk a different route to the college. Creative people, they need totally different environment. They will be very creative just if they are sitting on the beach, sitting in a garden. They need totally different environment, surroundings. If they are at one place, they will not be creative. Let your mind be influenced by new stimuli such as music you do not usually listen to. So sometimes they need to relax. When they relax, again their creativity comes back. Be open to ideas when they are still new. Look for ways of making things work and pushing the ideas to its limit. Ask questions such as what if or supposing. If I do like this, what happens? Suppose if I do this, what happens? Creative people are always asking questions the other way, thinking out of the box. This is the end. If you have any suggestions about thinking skills, please feel free to jot down your idea in the comment box. Thank you.